We were in Hilchos Megillah, Kuf Mem, and we're up to Siv Daled.
I have a name for my book.
He says as follows: L'choved Megillah, in honor of the reading of the Megillah, that is, Yesh Lil Big Shabbos Be'erev. That means you should come to shul Shabbos dik. I'm wearing Yontiv dik begadim. And when you come home, is Yimsa bebeisa neides dolkes v'shulchan aruch umitam b'tzas. And when you come home, the table should be just like we come on Friday night from shul. You come on Friday night from shul, the table is set already. It's Shabbos dik table. You don't set the table when you come home. The same thing over here. Before you go to shul, you set the table, and b'meila, so it'll be Neides dolkas, because it covered the yontif, you put on candles, and a shulchan aruch, the table will be set, umita matzahs, and mita matzahs for some means they used to eat on lounges. They would sit on a lounge like when they would eat. Avos lacha shmona esrei, at night after shmona esrei, oim kadosh sholem im teskabel. That's before the Megillah. And b'kaidin es a Megillah, you read the Megillah. Achakach oimim v'at HaKadosh, and then you say v'at HaKadosh. Why v'at HaKadosh? He explains of it. Shehu b'mizmor l'menatzeach al yelis ha'shachar, she'nemar al Esther. V'sham nemar kei ekra yoyim v'sanu rayla the union of Keli, she said, in that mitzvah, she Keli almost aftoni. And she said that Esther said that when she had to go to Achashverosh. So she said Keli almost aftoni. And being that it says over there, it talks about the night and during the day. So the Omer Rabbi Shua ben Levi, on this Rabbi Shua ben Levi said, Chayev Adam Likris es HaMegillah Balayla U'Shanoisa Bayayim. You have to read it at night and repeat it during the day. That means I will call you at night and will you not answer? And that during the day, and at night, will you not respond? Will you be quiet to me? And that capital steht about the Kodesh. So that's why we start about the Kodesh.
The Kodesh is only one passage. This is a whole long Megillah.
Okay, so this is it's a zeicha to that. Once you say about the Kodesh, so you say the whole Volitzin. You don't start from the Volitzin. You start from about the Kodesh. Kadesh Shalom B'leitis Kabul. That doesn't mean Arakat doesn't mean after the Megillah. After the Megillah, there's no Kaddish. When we're laying in the Torah and we finish the Kriya, we say Kaddish. But when we lay in the Megillah, so there's no Kaddish after that. Then you go after he's saying Shoshana Yaakov and everything, and then we have to go. After that, before Oleinu, you say a Kaddish, but without Tiskabel. And he know about the Kaddish, that's Motzei Shabbos. If Purim came out on Sunday, so this at night is Motzei Shabbos. So he said, he know him about the Kaddish. Then Kaddish Shalom B'leitis Kabul. B'yitin we don't, outside our minhag is that we say B'yitin at home after Havdalah. Umavdilan al Kais, and you make Havdalah. Now, this is a little bit different than the way we do it. When Purim comes out on Sunday, so what we usually do is we told the people that we'll have a maitiv, and they go home. And they bring the Megillah, and they bring the family. Kind of, they made Havdalah already in the house when they went home, and they came back here to create some Megillah. The Welt sagt that after reading the Megillah, there's no Kaddish, because all of Haman's sons were killed. There was no to say Kaddish after him. Okay. Now goes the inyan of Machzas HaShekel. Interesting halacha. It says the same. Neugen riten kaidem Purim, Machzas min ha-Mabeya, hakavua ba'oisa mokam u'ba'oisa zman. In other words, let's say in America, the Mabeya is $1, so there's also a half $1. So we give a half $1. In other places, there's a shaila. What kind? Not every Medina has a half $1 or half of the dollar. There's a whole talk in Shulchan Aruch that there used to be in Europe, in Poland, there was a. You ever hear the expression a groschen? We usually talk about a groschen as some type of a penny. But there used to be a grosh, it was called in Poland, and there was a half a grosh. So a half a grosh is like a half a penny was the shaila. Could you give that for Machzas Shekel? So on one hand, the problem is it's not a choshev and matbeya. A half a penny is not a choshev. But on the other hand, it's called a half. Some want to say that what happens if the Medina doesn't have a machzas, a medbeya is called a machzas. Not every currency has a machzas. So some want to say, let's say America didn't have a machzas. So they want to say that you could then give a nickel, because a nickel is half of a dime. It's a medbeya that's a half. Not every medbeya is a half, but it's a half of a whole coin.
Half a Bitcoin.
Huh?
Half a Bitcoin.
Yeah, that Agav for shtickle Purim Torah to be Yaisa. They once asked Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill was the foreign minister of England. He was a short man, and they asked him, "How do you feel when you come against all these government leaders? They're all much taller than you." So he says, "I feel like a dime among many nickels."
Is there how much money is supposed to give to Machzas Shekels there?
This is a Machzas Shekel is a half a shekel. Now he's going to explain it over here. Just a minute. Zeichel Machzas HaShekel shoyenaisen ba'oda l'tzayra kabanas tziba. They say, I mentioned this already, B'kitza, but there's a Mishnah that said that be'echad ba'oda mashmiin al hashkolim. They would announce the Indian of giving shkolim. In other words, for the Beis Hamikdash, they needed kabbonos. So kabbonos, there were two types of kabbonos. There were kabbonos that were brought every day, a kabban tomish shachar and a kabban tomish abayin. The first kabban was a kabban tomish shachar, and the last kabban was a kabban tomish abayin. This came from public funds. And then there was a called kayetz hamizbeach, when the mizbeach was on vacation. The says to say, if there weren't any people bringing any kabbonos, the mizbeach had to be active. So they had a fund that they would take from that fund and use other kabbonos, bring other kabbonos. So this is the Machzas Shekel. Now, this Machzas Shekel was a chiyuv to give. Where did it originate? It originated from by after the Egel. It's the beginning of Parshat Kisisa. So state that after the Egel, they gave Machzas Shekel, Zeh Yitnu, Machzas Shekel, L'chapra Nafshay Seichem. There was a need for kapara. Dort in that Parsha of Kisisa that we read we'll read the mitzvah of this Shabbos, it says also, it's mentioned again more times Machzas Shekel. So that wasn't a chiyuv really, or that it wasn't a chiyuv to give. You could give as much as you want. Machzas Shekel was one that you must give. So he says it as follows: Zeichel Machzas Shekel shayenaisen ba'ada l'tzayra kabbanas atzibur Uminig, the minig is litin gimel machzios, to give 3 halves. Why? Mishum de bepashas kisisa ksev gimel from truma. Because it said that truma, and the truth is that truma wasn't dafka machzah shekel. That truma you can give whatever you want. There was a machzah, there had to be a machzah shekel, but because it says over there 3 times truma, that's why we give 3 times truma. Now, how do we give machzah shekel? So our minig is that the shul prepares $3.50, preferably silver ones, because in the Beis Hamikdash it was silver. So preferably there should be silver ones, and not everyone has 3 silver ones. And we'll soon see over here that you also give for the members of your family. You give for your wife, you give for the children. Not only that, you even give for an unborn child. But it's not the same by Bakaparis. Bakaparis, sometimes you have to give 2 for an unborn child, because you're supposed if it's a boy or if it's a girl. But over here, it makes no difference. If it's a boy or girl, it's the same half machzah shekel. Why do you have to give? Where's the remez in the Torah to give for embryo for an unborn child? Say the remez is because the pasuk state, "Zeh yitnu kol ha'over ala pekudim." And so they say the word ha'over could be read ha'uba. So from them, so the remez that you should give also for an unborn child. So. How do you do it? So there's some problem. Maybe people that come to shul with a lot of $50, no problem. But the din is you could be paida or buy the $50. So l'mashal, you exchange those $50 for your paper money, and you're a kainid, and then you give it for each time, for each member of the family. So he says here, and when do you give it? Over here it says, that is not our minig. Our minig is that we give it before mincha. Before mincha we give machzah shekel, and then later we have mincha, and then at night you read the Megillah. And you distribute it to Automalite. Cotton potter, a cotton is potter, because the machzah shekel that was given in the time of the machzah shekel had to do a minyan to count the people. And you counted the people from age 20 and up. So a cotton wasn't counted in. Ve'im oviv noisen b'shvila pam achas, is then chayiv l'oilum.
Father's chayiv or the kid is chayiv?
No, the father's chayiv. There is a shaila.
So I have to give for my son also. Now he's in his 20s.
He's past 20. He's past 20.
But
there is a shaila for cat. What happens if you have a son who got married at the age of 18? Who has to give them the machzah shekel? You're chayiv to give till he's 20. If you gave when he was, let's say, 10, so you're chayiv to give till he'll be 20. So it's Prana Shaila, if he got married, does he have to give himself? Or does
at 20 you're off the hook?
Huh? No, then he has to give out to Gadol.
No, but does the father finish paying up till 20? Does La'ila means till 20?
Till, not La'ilum. How's that not with La'ilum? He means forever. Means till he raises, comes to the age to give himself.
Till 20. Okay.
Yeah, but the shayla is, I'm telling you, if he got married, that ben yud gimel shana, yesh shaimim the chayiv, v'yesh shaimim the potter. Achi yehei ben esrim. What is the shayla? The shayla, because this is really not money for the what state in the Torah. We find that M is fit in the Torah, but it's not the money for state in the Torah. So b'mela, so that the shayla, we give it also zeicha. if he's a gadol, just like he has to do all other mitzvahs himself, so he has to do this also himself.
Well, they used to bring karbanis in the base of Mikdash.
No.
They didn't bring.
Why
they only brought from 20.
machzah shekel? What's the Indian of a half a shekel? So one time state, because the Yidden had to give a machzah shekel was a chapa nafshaseichem. However, the women didn't sin with the egel. The men sinned with the egel. And a man without a woman is a plag gufa. So that's why he gives a machzah shekel. Over here in Shulchan Aruch, he doesn't talk about this din, but there's a shaila, could you give machzah shekel from Maisa money? Some people have a big family, it comes a sizable amount of money. So could you give machzah shekel from Maisa money? We have a call that a davish chayva, you can't give a Maisa money. Umashal. Matanas Rav Yainim. Matanas Rav Yainim, steht in the Megillah, you have to give Matanas Rav Yainim. So if you have to give Matanas Rav Yainim, you can't give it from Maisa money. However, Vi is Abu Mashal, that's on the Ikka mitzvah of Matanas Rav Yainim. Ishre Matanas Rav Yainim, you have to give 2 Rav Yainim. If you give 6 Rav Yainim or 10 Rav Yainim, so 2 you can give not from Maisa, for Chulin, and the rest you can give from Maisa. V is over here, is the Machaikas in Halacha. The Shalah holds that you can't give Machzah shekel from Maisa money, because he holds it's a Davar Shebechayva. You bow the Machzah shekel Davar Shebechayva, so Mele it can't be from Maisa money. There's other hold, I think Avram, others hold that you could give from, it's not a Davar Shebechayva. Being it's not a Davar Shebechayva, you can give it from Maisa money. An afkamina will be, V has been a geya to a cotton. If a parent is giving for a cotton, could he give his matbeya machzah shekel according to some days is a chayva. He can't give him from if it's given for a cotton, so it's only an union of chinuch. It's not the chiyuv. But he can give it from Maisa. Does have the nafkamina between the two, or for the wife. We fear, even though I said that the machzah shekel is because it's a half, because the woman didn't sin, that was bismana taira. Of Benara, we fear that you give machzah shekel also for the wife. So, but the wife is the question: is that a davar shebechayva or gabi? The same as gabi the man. Now, if the meaning will be if you can take Maisa money for. Okay. Now Rabbi Hecht takes over.